So Sandy is the person who educated us at our church about this amendment that came up, and you were sharing a little bit about what happened and why it's so important. We still be aware and fight the battle.
Yeah, sure. So what we were talking about, or what we were discussing, was there was an initiative, and it was Amendment 4. If that amendment would have passed in Florida, abortions would have been legal up to birth. And we definitely don't want that. And we were educating because the amendment was written so deceptively, and people really, a lot of people didn't understand what it was saying. Mm-hmm. So we are thankful that that did not pass. So the law in Florida is still, we have a heartbeat protection bill, which means when there's a heartbeat, which is usually around 6 weeks, that abortion is illegal in the state of Florida. However, the battle's not over, because we know that women are searching for abortion online and getting that abortion pill mailed to them. Oh, wow. Even though that's not legal as well. They're not under a doctor's care. They haven't even many times confirmed their pregnancy, or if the pregnancy is viable, or how far along they are. And it's so dangerous for these women. Mm-hmm. So we need to make sure that we're reaching her. So just because this amendment did not pass, the battle's not over, and we need to continue to fight and educate people about life, and that life begins at conception, not at birth, and every one of these lives are precious.
Amen. Amen. So Sandy, when I grew up, there was no abortion pill, there was none of that. We knew maybe what an abortion was, but it wasn't until I was older and I'm literally watching movies and seeing how babies are killed. You know what I mean? Thank goodness for Pure Flix and for that. But can you talk a little bit about the dangers of abortion? Can you talk a little bit about, I don't think people understand that piece, if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, so, abortion is literally taking the life of another person. And just because this person is small doesn't make them any less valuable, or their life valuable. So people think it's just an easy thing to take care of the problem, but it doesn't. Any woman that's had an abortion, there's not only the physical aspect of it, but emotional,
yes,
relational,
yes,
spiritual. There's so much to it, and that's a decision that she's going to have to live with for the rest of her life. In most cases, these women who are taking these abortion pills are taking them at home alone, again, like I said, with no physician oversight whatsoever, and she's just told it's like taking a Tylenol, and all your problems will go away. But she is going to have to go through labor and pass this baby, and she's going to see that, and she's probably not prepared for what she's going to witness. Yeah. And again, most times she's alone, and what if something goes wrong? What if it's an incomplete abortion, or she's hemorrhaging, all these things. Who does she call, and what does she do at that point? Does she even know? Has anyone explained that to her? So it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous for her. And one thing, at the pregnancy center, it's not just about the baby. We're concerned with her. She's our client. Yeah. She's the one that's coming to the center. We love her. We are concerned with her health. We want the best for her as well as saving the life of that child. There's two lives involved there, yes, the mother and the baby.
Amen. Amen. One thing too that I don't think, and we're learning more and more, because a lot of people say, it's just a clump of cells. And that's there's feeling, there's sensation, there's so much at a very, very, just a few days even.
Yeah.
Few days that people aren't realizing. I want to address, if you're okay, I want to address this piece, because I've worked with a lot of women in health and wellness, and a lot of women who come to me years later, and they're just carrying this burden, physical burden in their bodies, and when it comes out, and I have no judgment to them and stuff, but the healing that happens and stuff too is that how many women are carrying a spirit of death over themselves. or a spirit of shame or a
Yeah.
spirit of all that. So there's a spiritual component, there's an emotional component, as well as the physical component. And I don't think that is ever, really highlighted as well.
Yeah. Well, we do offer post-abortion recovery at our center as well. So this is available. It's non-judgmental. It's very confidential. It's open for any woman if it's been 2 weeks since your abortion, if it's been 40 years since your abortion, and you are still dealing with the hurt and the pain and the shame and the grief of this abortion. We have that available. Someone to meet with you, someone who's walked in your shoes and can relate and know how it feels. And we want you to know that you're forgiven and you've been set free. And it's another way for us to love on these women.
That's really fabulous. And then Jan was sharing with me too, because I said, well, how do these women find the center, or how do they, she was saying that you can refer, like.
Yeah, so we have some clients that come because they had a friend or family member that had come into our center before, and they've told them about it, and so they have an unplanned pregnancy situation, and so they've been referred here by a friend. But we also do marketing as well. We do Google Ads, because again, the first place anyone goes now to look for information is online, right?
Yeah.
Or on their phone or on the internet. So that's where we need to be, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we also have, it's called Infinite Worth Nurse Chat on our website. So 24 hours, 7 days a week, they can chat with someone. So if it's 2 a.m. And they're scared, need to talk to someone, they can chat with a nurse. And then that nurse will make an appointment for them to come to our center, their next appointment. And so, marketing, word of mouth are two of the ways that women can find us. And it's not just women either. We have men's ministry as well. So we know the father or the partner of the baby is one of the most influential people in her decision-making process. We're there for him too. And so we have a full-time male staff, and we have male volunteers that will meet one-on-one with these guys as well. It's all about family.
I thought that was really, really incredible too. How about confidentiality?
Everything we do is confidential. And like I said, no judgment. It's a very loving and compassionate way.
And one of the things too that I've grown to realize too, that it's not just young women going through this, that there's a high incidence of women later on.
Sure, of course, yeah. We've had women that are in their 40s that thought, I'm done with, being pregnant. I have grown children, and that can be just as much of an unexpected pregnancy to them as well as for a 20-year-old, The majority of our clients are age 20 to 29, so you think that college age. A lot of times these are ladies that are away from home for the first time, making decisions. But yes, we've seen people younger and older than that. We're here for everyone.
And so the mobile unit, so you're here in Plant City, but the mobile unit goes out to Zephyrhills currently.
It goes to Tampa and Zephyrhills. We have a pregnancy center that we've just partnered with in Zephyrhills that they currently are not medical. They're transitioning to be medical. So we just want to help them out and do their pregnancy tests and ultrasounds, and then get them connected for ongoing support in their center. So twice a month we're at that center in Zephyrhills, but the other days we're out 4 days a week on the mobile unit, and we are in the Tampa area for the majority of that time. We try to be, the purpose of the mobile is going where she's at. And so if our target audience is
like a college,
we want to be near those colleges, and we also want to be near those abortion clinics as well, because we want to give her a real option and a second opinion, and it's free. All of our services, everything we do, we don't charge for that, and so we're not making a profit off of her decision. We're here to give her the facts. In a compassionate way.
Unlike Planned Parenthood.
Unlike, any abortion clinic, they're going to charge for their services.
Yeah. And is it true that these abortion clinics don't do ultrasound, or don't allow the client to see the ultrasound?
I've heard that. I've not been to one, so I'm not sure if it's true. By law, they're supposed to offer it. Now, if the client refuses to see it, they don't have to, but by law, they're supposed to offer the option for her to see it. Now, whether they do or not, I can't speak to that.
What would your call to action be? What do you need people watching this video to do?
Well, we need volunteers, and we train you. We need anyone who's compassionate about life and serving women and men. So volunteers. We need prayer warriors. As this ministry was surrounded by prayer and was birthed out of prayer, but also financially too, because even though we don't charge for our services, it costs.
Yeah.
It costs money to do everything that we do, and so we rely on support from individual donors and churches and businesses that will believe in what we do and partner with us. Reaching her online, marketing, Google ads, that's not cheap. It's very expensive, but I believe one life saved is worth it. And so financial partners is a big need as well.
Have you ever had a client come back and
What's going on?
I'm like, it's with the Pregnancy Care Center.
have you ever had a client come back with their baby?
Yes, we love those. And even sometimes when we're participating, we participate in Plant City as a Strawberry Festival parade and a Christmas parade, and we'll participate in those, and sometimes we'll have a mama with a baby and say, hey, I came here with her or him, and that just touches me, yes. We've even had clients, when I say they refer a friend, they'll show up with their child and a friend that they're bringing to the center for our services. So those are great moments that we get to see, the life in the city.
It's precious. And how can they reach you online or?
Yeah, so online we're at plantcitypregnancycenter.org. Our phone number is 813-759-0886.
Okay, so plantcitypregnancycenter.org. And the phone number again?
813-759-0886.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, thank you.